Hi, Internet viewers. My name is Frank Rauscher, and I'm going to continue on doing the otter. I had, on the last video, we did the feet. We shaped the body in this area here. We did the front quarter and the hind quarter here. And we made sure that we have those hind quarters sticking out, and we have this at a nice roll up in the air. And what I want to do today is work on the head. This will really put the whole otter in shape, in the sense that it'll start to look like a real otter in that respect. We have the body pretty much shaped out, and what I'm going to try to do now is get into the detail of how to mark out the head, and then we'll proceed on with completing that, and then I'm going to show you how to do that. So I'm going to pause for 1 second so I can get the camera to come down so you can see exactly what I'm doing. Okay. Okay, Internet viewers, I am now going to proceed on to getting the otter's head out. I have dimensions on the sheet here, and we have an outline of the head on top, and we have 1/8 of an inch out from the center line. We have a center line still going through the head. That's very important, and it also carries through here. Now, before I usually start with the nose, because it's like the leading part, what I want to do is we have edges that I just want to smooth out very lightly. I'm just want to round it over so we don't have any hard edges. And I don't mean taking a lot of wood off. I mean being very gentle with it. So I'm going to get a ruby bit, and I'm going to come in, and I'm just going to lightly get the squareness out. I'm just going to roll it just enough so that it has rounded corners. I'm not really trying to take a lot of material off because there's not much to take off. I'm also going to round the nose a little bit, just a little bit. And underneath, especially here, under what would be like the chin, all the way on back, I just try to, just try to round the corners so I don't have any more edges if I can possibly help it. It's not going to be perfect, but at least we're starting to make it look closer to what the head should look like. And like I said before on other videos, the whole idea is there's really no like real edges on an otter, and that goes for almost anything you're carving. As far as birds or animals, we try to get the roundness, the squareness out, I should say. And here I'm going to do the bottom on this one. And I round that over. And I come down into the neck area as well. Just a little bit. You could see I've just softened the corners. And the thing you may want to do too is if you have a template for the head, you can, just to help yourself along, here was the template I used to cut this out. And if you had a center line for this on the template right on through there. You could lay this right on top. And sometimes when you cut the Otter out, I have a little more material than I want. So what you could do at this stage of the game is line up your center lines and then follow the outline. Let me push this up to the edge, and I have a little bit of material on either side sticking out. So what I'm going to do is just come in here and trim that in a little bit more, straight down, like we're routing it out. So I'm going to come in here and just going to use this bit and try to look down from the top and come straight down to take a little bit of the excess out so that we have the same distance from the center out to that line to that line. That was our goal. Okay. So I'm going to take a little off here, a little off there. And we'll get a little closer. I don't trust myself on this one, so I'm going to check it out again just to make sure that I was on center. Yeah, so it actually necks in a little bit more back in here and over here, and a little bit over there. So I still have a little bit more material I want to take in back here. So this is where I sort of just refine it, and I try to take the material off straight down. Gets a little tricky, but if you do it from the side and then look in, you can see that you put the material in just enough to follow that line, or get close enough. We're pretty close right there. Then on this side, I'll do the same thing. Just take a little off back here. It just aids you later on in the shaping of the piece. I think that's pretty close right there. So, getting back to what I was showing you before, we have the center line going through, and that goes right on through to the front here and to the underneath side, straight back. Okay, so looking at this front view right here, hope I got this centered correctly so you can see it. This nose comes back 1/8 of an inch. It's also from the center line out on either side of the center line 1/8 of an inch. So if I come out about 1/8 of an inch and measure that and put a mark, and 1/8 of an inch and put a mark, that is the width of the nose. Okay. Now we're going to come to the front, and if you look over here, the overall head is 3/8, and from the bottom up, it's 1/4. So what's left is 1/8. So from the top of the nose to the bottom of the nose is 1/8 of an inch. So when looking in, we had that edge right here that we softened a little bit. We measured down about 1/8 of an inch, and we put a line there. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to come and draw a little straightaway and then turn it up right onto that 1/8 inch. And I'm going to do the same thing on this side. And just like that. Now, that is where the nose should sit. And it's just going to come in and peek in on the top here, and you hardly see that. But what we want to do now is we want to come in and undercut all along this line so we could take material away so that the nose sticks up. So how we're going to do that is I'm going to get my bit here. Let's see. I really came prepared for this one. Let's see if I have it over here. Yeah, here's a flame tip. I'm going to put that in. Turn that on. And when I run my ram grinder, or any of your grinders, they're usually at least 35,000 or 45,000. I run it full out. I find speed's the best. And only when you're sanding do you want to lower the speed. You should. So what I'm going to do now is I got a pointed bit, and I'm going to lay that right alongside the pencil line. And I'm undercutting all the way around the pencil line, right up to it. So I'm not trying to blow away the pencil line, trying to keep it. But I want to go down maybe a 16th in depth. So when I can raise that up as I look in, and I'll show you that in a second. If you look in here, when I put a pencil line in here, it's about a 16th up off all the material that's around it. So this is raised from here to here about a 16th. Now what I'm going to do is soften all this again, just to blend it around. I'll blend this a little bit around, just slightly. I'm just trying to get the flat out of there so that the nose sort of pops out a little bit more. So I'm cleaning this up all the way around, just smoothing it out. And this nose is rounded, so make sure you don't have a square nose in here like that, just like that. So this is definitely sticking out pretty good now off the surface. So what we need to do next is we want to create, there's a split, just like a lot of other animals in the nose here. There's a split that comes down about 1/8 of an inch. So you draw a line right on the center line, and then you come out, and the width of this is going to come back, I'll say straight back here and straight back there with a little curl at the end. And if you want to measure this straight on, I would say, excuse me, I apologize. If you go out about 1/4 of an inch this way and 1/4 of an inch that way, that will be the mouth. Now, what I'm going to do again, I'm going to grab my wood burner, and I'm going to go in more in depth in this wood burner as we go so that you can see it and how I use it. But right now the pen is set at a higher degree so I can burn in right on that line. And I burn that in pretty good. You can see I've pressed that in there. And then I'm going to come across this line here and follow it right across like this. And you can probably see some of the smoke coming off because it's pretty hot. And I want to make sure that that intersects right there. Okay, so now you got sort of like a T in there. So I'm going to I do the burning in here for two reasons. Again, you could use this and just follow the pencil line if you don't have a wood burner. And then we're going to round this corner, but we're also going to irrigate this coming down and this coming across to get that to open up. But the nice part about the wood burner is it gives you a real defined stop in a sense. And if you were using a knife, you plunge it in and then you also come across, and then what happens is that acts as a what we call a stop, that when you start grinding away or you're carving away, that will allow you to break that loose, or at least shape it within there without redoing other areas. So here we go. I'm going to come in again with the flame, and I'm going to stick it in there to open it up a little bit. Then I'm going to come around the corner, and I'm going to undercut right on the burn, like so. And I'm going to do the other side. You can see I've opened that up. Okay, I'm going to do it on this side a little bit more so you can see it. Now I'm going to get a pencil in there. I don't know how viewing it looks. I could have burnt that a little deeper. That would have helped. But here's what I want to do now. I have, when I made that channel cut through there, I have an upper edge and a lower edge. The lower edge, I want to come in and I want to roll it around. And this is a gentle roll just to establish what would be the bottom of the mouth. And that starts you. And if there's any edges, I just keep on softening it. I don't try to take too much out. I'm going to come back into this area here and round that over. And I think what I'm going to do, just to aid myself here, I'm going to go back with the wood burner. I'm going to try to come in here and wood burn that in and turn this way. And I'm going to come back this way. Then I'm going to go this way. Come in here, would burn it around, and come back. Just make it a little deeper. Okay. Now, I'm going to come in with that flame again. I'm going to stick the point right in there, roll that around. So we're going to come back and roll this a little bit more. I'll do the same thing on the other side. I'm going to come in here, go right up to the nose, but you don't want to take anything off the nose, and you want to round this over. This is what I call like the cheek area that would be right around the nose. And then I'll try to get, if I see any, what still looks like it's a little squared up, I'll soften that edge. Same way here. It looks a little squared up yet. I try to get this whole thing to look like it's rolling inward around here. I'll come around here. And then I'll roll this way, going into there. Now we have the mouth in. And one thing you want to make sure is that your center line is going through, the mouth is perpendicular to that center line. So if you need to make an adjustment where you want to lower it or something like that, even before you even start to burn, you want to try to make sure that everything is perpendicular. It just really helps so that when you're looking in, you have everything symmetrical about that center line. What I'm also going to do to aid and get me to look at this nose better, I'm going to soften it ever so slightly on the edge, like right in here. I'm going to round that over just a little bit and round that over. And try to give it a little more shape. It gets to be like a little button nose sticking out there.